Alright, I got my cleats down here. I think they turned out pretty good. I was a little nervous about being able to heat these up enough to bend them like that, but I was able to use the big pipe wrench over there and put some muscle behind it and bend them around. They came out matching pretty good too. A couple things you gotta fix though before I can use them. I'll take you up top here and show you. So they're gonna sit on the corner right here. The problem is the rack side is raised up a little bit more than the tailgate here. So that's not gonna work because I'm gonna bolt it to the tailgate, and when I do that, the tailgate's not gonna close all the way when it comes down because this is gonna hold it up. And also, the radius on the inside of the bend on my cleat is bigger than the radius on the metal here, so it's not gonna sit up tight there. What I think I'm gonna do is to cut out a corner up there and replace it with some of this stuff right here that's heavy. I think that'll match the radius pretty good. Okay, I got that piece welded in there. I'll give you a look. So the heavy piece that I welded in is just the top and then the side here. And then I kind of blended it on top. A little unsightly, but I think it'll work. And this slides over. Gives it just a tiny bit of clearance on the top there, and it sits nice on the outside. So now I just got to repeat it once more down there, and then I'll be ready to bolt these on. I got the cleats done. It took me way too long to finish. Spent most of the morning working on them, but I think they turned out pretty good. So this is the hook that the cable will wrap around. Reinforce the bottom with the plate so it's not just bolted to this 1/8 inch piece here. It's got a heavy plate underneath, and it's got the ears that hang out, and this is the new piece that I put in there. That's gonna work pretty good. Got the other side to match, of course. I wish the hooks were a little closer to the side wall. Then the cable would stay over a little more. But I had to stick them where they are because of the bolt here. And I couldn't move the bolt hole either because it has to stay away from this upright piece right here. I think it'll be okay. Used a lot of heavy metal. Maybe a little overkill, but I think they'll hold up pretty good. I thought I'd walk out and show you the ones on our other truck and justify my use of the heavy metal. Hang on one sec, I'll show you. This is one of our other trucks. I thought I'd show you the cleat on the back and how much abuse it takes. You can see just how much it wears. Every time it closes, it scrapes pretty hard on there, and this thing's been welded up I don't know how many times, countless times. And once they break, they're never as strong as they are originally. We've tried reinforcing it up top here and put another piece around the edge here. And so that's what my hope was with building it as strong as I did the first time, is that maybe I won't have to fix it up like we have this one. We got another truck over there and it's the same way. Kind of surprising how much abuse they take on the back here. You wouldn't think it'd do that much, but I think it's necessary to build it that strong. Another day gone. I have a little bit to show for it. I was working this evening on welding up the inside of the truck bed here, welding those up. Doing 2 inches every 2 feet. And then coming back through with the flap disc and smoothing them up. And then I was working on welding the seams up between the sheets. I have a tiny bit left on this side over here that I haven't done, but I need to call it a night. I gotta get up early and go pick beans. And I also got that tailgate done. Glad that's done. I think the cleats turned out pretty good. We're gonna have a week busy picking beans. Usually our plantings are spaced out 4 or 5 days or so when it comes to harvest, but for some reason with the weather, they're all kind of coming off at the same time. So we have 4 plantings of beans to pick back to back. So that's gonna be probably 4 or 5 days of picking straight. So I'm gonna have to put the chuck racks on hold for a little bit. But hopefully I'll get a little bit of time to work on them. We'll see. So it's Sunday morning, and I got to show off what I've been up to this morning. Pretty excited about it. My cousin down the road, he was a metal worker, and he's retiring, and he let me come look through his shop before he opens it up to the public. And I dropped, go on, get out of here, go on. I dropped some money, picked up some tools, and he gave me a screaming deal on some of this stuff. Picked up a lot of stuff. Got some bottles and regulators, torch heads. Got a ton of drill bits. Some really big ones. Center punches, some blocks. Bunch of vice grips, bench vise, bottle jack, bunch of big nice clamps up here, Wilton. Just a ton of awesome stuff. He says everything that I didn't buy is just going to go to auction, so he's pretty excited for me to take it and keep it in the family. And he said he's excited to see a younger guy that likes to weld and fabricate. So, and I'm really thankful for him for giving me the prices that he did. And I think he is excited that it's going to somebody that's going to put it to good use. So now it's just going to be a ton of sorting and figuring out how I'm going to fit it into my shop. Pretty excited though. This is a good start on getting my shop set up. I also have a drill press and a bandsaw coming too that I got to go back and get. I got a couple pressure treated 2x8s here that I'm building. I'm going to build a walkway over the top of the cab up there. We put these on all our trucks and end up using them a lot. Just a little overhang to protect the cab, and then it gives you access to walk along the top and get down in the tank. So I just finished chopping them at the angles and then chamfering the edges. Chamfered the edges so it sits down tight on these 2x2 pieces of angle. This also protects the cab when we're loading squash or corn. It's easy for some to roll off the front, and squash is obviously pretty heavy and it can dent the top of the cab. So this gives it just one more layer of protection. .3/8 carriage bolt. Put a lock washer on it too, but probably not necessary, but might as well. Now I'll cut the ends off. I was feeling a little lazy. I didn't want to do the math to figure out how long it needed to be, so I just bolted it on there and then cut it off afterwards. This. Okay, got that done. I'm not sure if I'm going to need a support in the middle here or not. I thought I would get it up there, weld it in place, and see how bouncy they are. See if I feel like it needs one once I get it up there. But I think I'll try to get it up in place, hopefully hold it with the hoist, grind off the paint on the front where it's going to be welded, and then try to get it welded and secure. I'm cultivating the cabbage today. This is our first time growing OP cabbage in quite a while. I think it's been 6 years or so. And OP means there's only one variety out there, and it's open pollinated. And we planted it from seed about 3 weeks ago, and started having a flush of weeds come up, so I thought it'd be a good time to get out here and cultivate it. Cultivating makes me a little anxious because I always feel like I'm doing too much damage to the crop itself. You have to be really careful and pay attention to where you're driving. If you get off the road just a little bit, you're going to be taking out a lot of plants that you don't want to. But I think I got it set up, and so I'm going to jump in and try to knock this field out today. I'm kind of nervous about this shot. I hope I don't ruin my camera. Working on some cleats that I'm going to use as ladder steps on the side of the truck. 5/8 inch square bar. Heating them up. And I'm using this tool that I built some years back to bend them. This stop here rotates to different positions depending on how much of a bend you want. It's a little crude, but it's working really good for this. Got one more to make. Put a mark on the inside of the bin so I don't lose my heating spot. I've been leaving them a little longer than they need to be and then cutting them off afterwards because it's really hard to predict how long they're going to be before the bend. So it's more precise for me to cut it off after the bend. All right, there we go. It's number 5. It slipped on me a little bit when I was bending it, but Didn't turn out too bad. Salvaged it, I think. Make one hell of a croquet set. Finished the ladder, and I got the boards up top there. Those all welded on. Hanging my coat over the car here, or the cab, trying to keep the sparks off the paint. I think I gotta reinforce the middle. It's a little too bouncy. I'll work on that tomorrow though. But I think the only thing left to do is test the ladder. Make sure it's human weight approved. Let's go. That'll work. I think I might get to work on it again tomorrow, so if all goes to plan, I might be close to wrapping it up after a day's work tomorrow. All right, see you then.